Good morning to all our amazing grade 3 learners. I hope you all are keeping safe at home. Today, we are going to be learning about halving. Now, I know this is not a new concept for you, but let's revise this topic. Just give me a few seconds to share my screen. Okay. So, what is halving? Halving is to divide a number into two equal parts. Now, the important word here, grade 3s, is equal. Okay, that means each person must receive the same amount or number. Let's look at an example. Here is a boy, and here is a girl. Now I have 6 sweets to share. That means we are trying to work out what half of 6 is. So let's share the sweets. So each child is going to get one. Okay, and as you can see, each child has 3 sweets. Therefore, half of 6 is 3. So let's revise what we already know. We know that half of 2 is 1. Therefore, half of 20 is 10. We know that half of 4 is 2. And therefore, half of 40 is 20. We know that half of 6 is 3, and therefore half of 60 is 30. We know that half of 8 is 4, therefore half of 80 is 40. And half of 10 is 5, and then half of 100 is 50. Now we are moving on to a slide where we have bigger numbers. So if half of 20 is 10, that means half of 200 is 100. If half of 40 is 20, then half of 400 is 200. If half of 60 is 30, then half of 600 is 300. If half of 80 is 40, then half of 800 is 400. If half of 100 is 50, then half of 1000 is 500. Now we are going on to halving more difficult numbers. Grade 3s, I know you did this last year in grade 2. And as you know, these numbers are a lot more difficult to halve. So let's go through them. Half of 30 is 15. Half of 50 is 25. Half of 70 is 35. And half of 90 is 45. And it is difficult to remember what the numbers are. So in the next slide, I have a trick to help you halve the difficult numbers. So you're going to start from the bottom and you're going to work your way up. And as you do that, you're going to write these numbers: 30, 50, 70, 90. Then you're going to go next to this number and you're going to write number 1, 2, 3, 4. And thereafter, you're going to slide down with the number 5. So 5, 5, 5, 5. And once you've done this, you will see that half of 30 is 15, half of 50 is 25, half of 70 is 35, and then half of 90 is 45. I really do hope this trick helps all of you. How do I halve this number? 138. Okay, grade 3s, we're going to go to the next slide. Now, this is how we work out halving in grade 3. And this is probably what you did in grade 2 as well. This is the method. First, you're going to break up the numbers. Then you're going to halve the numbers. And lastly, you will add them together. Let's look at an example. So we're looking at the same number, 138. So here we have to break up the numbers. And you break it up into hundreds, tens, and units. Or you could, if you have another number, it could just be tens or units. So if I break up this number, I've got 100 plus 30 plus 8. And now I halved the numbers. So half of 100 is 50, half of 30 is 15, half of 8 is 4. And my next step is going to be to add them up together. And I end up with the answer 69. Let's do a few examples. So I have a big number here, 422. So I'm going to break up the number. And this is how you break up the number, grade 3s. The next step is halving the numbers. So as you can see here, I have halved all the numbers. Half of 400 is 200, half of 20 is 10, and half of 2 is 1. And my next step is adding them all up together. Okay, number 2, 58. Here you can see I only have a 10 and a unit. So when I break it up, I'm going to break it up into tens and units. So it's 50 plus 8. Now I need to remember to halve 50 and halve 8. And when I do so, I will have 25 plus 4. I'm going to now add this together and I'm going to end up with 29. Let's look at another example. Okay, number 3, 168. So the first step here is to break it up. The next step would be to halve it. So half of 100 is 50. Half of 60 is 30. Half of 8 is 4. And then you're going to add it together. And you end up with 84. Last example, number 4 is 246. So grade 3s, I'm breaking up the number here, 200 plus 40 plus 6, and then I'm going to halve each number, okay? So half of 200 is 100, half of 40 is 20, and half of 6 is 3. And that is my final answer when I add them together. I hope you all understand the method that we use. Now you're going to do these on your own. So I would like you to pause the video here and get a piece of paper to write down the sums. So for number 1, for example, you are going to write 134. But I would like you to leave a space below that because you are going to break up the number in one line, then you're going to halve the number in one line, and then you're going to add it together. So you can't just write the answer for me. You have to show all of your working, okay? All of your working out. So if you do find this difficult, the grade 3 teachers will be available tomorrow at 11 o'clock on Zoom, and we will help you if you struggle with any one of these sums. Going to just stop sharing now. And thank you all. Have a lovely day further.